Coins of Nicaragua. Well, there's 47 different coins that we struck for Nicaragua, plus 2 that were struck by a private mint in the U.S. before they started dealing with our regular mint. The Waterbury Mint made a 5 centavo in 1898, and then again another 5 centavo in 1899. In 1917, during World War I, the U.S. Mint began making these coins. There's the half centavo, medio centavo de Cordoba, and then there's a 1 cent. Difficult, chocolatey brown one to see. 1 centavo de Cordoba. 1917 is almost impossible to see, it's so dark. Now, what I've done here, I've put inverted pennies to indicate the 13 of these coins that I don't have here. Alright, 1919, 1 centavo de Cordoba. Okay. There's also a 5 cent, which I don't have. 1920, however. Okay. That's the 1 cent. And now here's the U.S. Mint made 5 cent. Don't know what happened there on the planchette maybe. There's a half cent for 1922 that I don't have. However, I have the 1 cent. $1924, same situation. There's a half cent that I don't have. But the 1 cent is here. Next year's 1927. Apparently, there's all of 1 cent and 5 cent that I don't have. Only the 10 cents seems to be around. Some of these switch this way. And some of them will switch the other way. Okay, alright, 1928. Well, we're good for 28 here. We've got a centavo. That looks pretty nice. We have a 5 centavo. Cinco centavos de Cordoba. Okay. And then a 10 centavos. And then there's also a 25 centavos. As you can see, throughout all these years, the design, other than the years made before our mint got involved. Now, let's see, 29, there's a 1 and a 5 that I don't have. There's a 25 cent that I gather is fairly rare, which fortunately I do have, albeit a rather shabby specimen, but I gather this is a pretty rare coin. Oops, this one switches around sideways too. Okay, and the one time we made a 50 centavo de Cordoba. It was also 1929. This isn't exactly a high mintage either. 1930, there's a 1 and a 5 and a 25. I know the 25 is particularly rare, but I don't have. At least I do have the 10 centavos de Cordoba. Okay. 1934. At last we have another half cent. Medio centavo de Cordoba, 1934. There's a 1 cent for 34 I don't have, but there's a 5 cent that I do. Here it is. Got a little rust spot on it. Other than that, it's not too bad of a specimen. Alright, now 1935. Alright, there's a 1 cent. There's a 5 cent. And there's a 10 cent. Oops, now this now reverses this way. For 36, there was a half cent, but I don't have that. There's a 1 cent. Un centavo de Cordoba. A 5 cent. $0.10. Let's see. Now it's back to flipping this way again. And 25 cents. Okay. 37. Last year they even made a half cent for them. I don't know if those even got released or how many there are, how common they are. Anyway, here's the 1 cent. Not too bad of a specimen. It's more red than brown anyway. And here's a 5 cent. That one looks really beautiful. Now, 38. Now, one thing to notice is that apparently the larger silver coin denominations stopped being made after 1936. By 1938, they're actually introducing silverless versions of the higher denomination coins. This didn't affect how they did the lower base metal coins, so we kept on making those for them unchanged. But the silver coins are no longer being made at the U.S. Finally, 1940. And 5 cents. As we go into the war, however, even the base metals become rare, and everything becomes brass. This is the one time that everything is changed. You get a 1 cent here for 1943, made out of brass, and this is actually a really nice specimen, pretty nice, and it's almost about the size of the half cent. Oops. You never know which way they're going to flip here. Un centavo de Cordoba. Okay. And again, 10 cent. A little bit larger. No, 5 cent. Still a little bit larger. Made out of brass. Not too bad of a specimen. And now the 10 cent. Definitely larger than the old silver 10 cent. Whoa, let's see if we can get that focus. And finally, 25 cent. Almost the same size as it used to be. And that's what we've done for Nicaragua.